about Te Arawa. I think my biggest connection is that I'm part of Te Arawa, and it's part of that collective well-being that draws me to want to be instrumental in ensuring that Te Arawa survives from this point into the future. As an example, Te Arawa has a reputation for kapahaka, and we are recognised for that. But I think that's something we're already strong at, and we've been able to, I think, hold on to a lot of our cultural assets as a result of our strength in kapahaka. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we're strong in all aspects of our culture. Wāhiao, performance, mahi toi, those are areas that Te Arawa is very strong in. But I think we lack in terms of mātauranga, te reo, those things that are critical to to sustaining culture and giving us a future that we can be certain that we're going to be around in 2-3 generations. Yeah. Here in Rotorua, we're the centre of the Te Arawa waka, and we have a beautiful environment. So we need to be sure that we things in place to ensure that our environment is safe. I think it's being sustainable. So in order for us to be sustainable, we have to ensure that the future generations know who they are in terms of being Te Arawa. Without our rangatahi and ngā uri whakaheke having a clear and deep understanding of what it is to be Te Arawa, that gives them no reason to want to contribute, to be part of our future. So I think it's critical that we have steps in place to ensure that our rangatahi and future generations are prepared for whatever Te Arawa has to deal with. And it's simple things like, I'm really connected to my marae, but no rangatahi come to the marae. So we have to consider that we're in a different generation, we're global citizens, and our kids live a different life to what we lived as rangatahi and what our parents lived. And so we have to look at different ways of connecting our rangatahi to our marae, our whenua, all of those things. And I think we have to talk more to them. We have to give them the opportunity to say, what is it that you want that will help you connect back to where you're from, your whenua, your hapu, your iwi, your marae. I think that's a big question for us to consider, and as pakeke and kaumātua, we don't always think about that. We might have some thoughts about that, but have we talked to our rangatahi about that? So I think it's important that they're involved in that conversation. One of our biggest challenges here in Te Arawa is that identifying and taking the opportunities that we have to work together. We're very hapu-centric here in Te Arawa, and there's nothing wrong with that. That makes us stronger in terms of our marae and our hapu. But there's so many things that we could be doing better if we were working together. So, but I do understand too that takes a time and energy and resource. I mean, we've got 3 post-settlement entity organisations here in Te Arawa. We've got the Lakes Trust, we've got the Fisheries, we've got TPT. And even those 3 organisations struggle to find ways to work together. So I think our biggest challenge is figuring out how do we do things collectively for the betterment of our people. We've got some talented Te Arawa who are business-minded, creative. They are the results of years of investment, I guess, in education, and because that is, of course, crucial too. but where are the opportunities for them to be able to contribute back to our iwi? I think we have to, there's that sort of succession planning, you know. Our leaders have to start thinking about who will be the ones to replace them, and inviting them in as part of a succession plan to prepare them for those roles of leadership. Because too often we see now that our leaders are leaving us and there's no one to step into their shoes because no one's been prepared to do that role, to take on the role that that particular leader has left open. So I think we need to think more about that. It's about future planning, succession planning, and identifying our people who want to, because there are a whole lot of people I know who want to be able to contribute to Te Arawa, but there's no opportunity for them to do that too. In the business world, in politics, well no, actually we need more politicians in our area. We don't have enough. It's not a good job. It's not a nice job though, so you know. I guess it's just about making everyone politically aware too, so that we have strength in those areas. Some time back when Tūhourangi was, I think it started before he became the Member of Parliament for Wāhiao. That was around leadership planning, and that was cultural leadership, so that was running wānanga on the marae, and really successful while he was driving it. But you know, we have to be in a position where it doesn't depend on just one person to do it. So that was about building cultural leadership within Te Arawa, and that over the years made a huge contribution. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about our marae, all of those, you know, and our cultural heritage, because there's been a big gap there. And I mean, other iwi are experiencing that too. So it's important to make sure that we invest in that stuff. And investment means not only finding the people, but providing the environment and the resources so that can be, you know, what happened is it wasn't sustainable because it relied on one person to run it. And there was no support from iwi. We had to go out and find the funding, government funding to do that. So we need to, in the future, when we think about these things, not only think about how we're going to do it and who's going to do it, but how we're going to sustain it, how we're going to pay for that, and generate funding to be able to make it sustainable. We've got some awesome little land trusts who are doing great work. How do we take what they're doing and get it happening all over Te Arawa? I think that's part of that. How do we work together? How do we communicate with each other? How do we create the opportunities for that stuff to happen, so that this is not just, there's not just pockets of great leadership in our iwi, but the whole iwi is exposed, and we're looking at doing things collectively. I think that would be a great thing to happen for Te Arawa.